Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. Miyamoto Musashi. And my friends, that is great advice in life and great advice particularly for what we do in the markets. Now, we use visual aids. That's what these charts are. But being able to compile all that information and perceive what you can't see with the eye, that is the actual movement in price and where it is going. That requires you to take in all the information at the same time, process it, because your eyes can't see everything at once. The screen you see before you, for those who are listening or watching also as well as listening, is a new chart that I've been messing with for quite a while, and I have found it extremely helpful. I'm going to be introducing it to you over the next many weeks. I've gone back in time and explored what the forerunners to modern day training used. And you know, the only thing they really had back in the day, before we had all these complicated computers and algorithms and indicators and all the other stuff that make it both easy and hard to do what we do, because you've got so much information that it can conflict and it can mislead you, and it can also stall your getting in to the point that you run into a problem that you've missed the move, that when you get in, you've gotten in too late. And invariably, as you wait for the indicator verified support to come in, you've already missed the movement. Now, what our forefathers did in trading is they really had two things. They had volume, which is at the bottom of each of these three time frames, and they had price movement, which of course for us are the Heikin Ashi candlesticks. Now, what's so beautiful about these charts, as you can see before you, have the 195 minute, that's what we call our half day, because half day in the market's not 4 hours. Some people use a 4-hour chart. I don't think that's a good idea because it's not accurate. It's 195 minutes. The 2-day, which is 4 times the half day or 195 minute chart, and then the weekly, which is 2.5 times the 2-day and 10 times on a regular week. This week was shorter, it's only 8 times, but typically 10 times the half-day chart because it's 5 days, right? Well, what I find so helpful about this time frame in these charts, and my plan is this weekend to do a video on how to set this up, and we will start using this more and more to follow trends and get into these trends earlier and more accurately and ride them longer. And again, don't forget, our rules are always the same. We still use, you can see on these charts, the ATR. We still use that to set our profit and loss bands with this long position and short position widget. We still use those. Why? Because you have to always make sure that you check yourself and your emotions. Now, the wonderful thing about this chart is, with the volume added in here, it also helps show you how much of the wave is actually coming in through volume and how much is simply price fluctuation, maybe more manipulation. You know, again, you'll get more information and you're not looking to other people's formulas via indicators, but you're going to be looking at simple price movement. And I love these Heikin Ashi candlesticks. They're not high open, low close. I'll put at the end of today's video our Heikin Ashi training so you understand more about how they're calculated. 100 and plus. I don't know if we're up to 200,000 yet who've watched that training. Very good. If you hadn't watched it in a while, watch it again, but very important for you to understand. So I'm excited about taking you to this next level. And again, as you know, everything we do here, we do for free for you. We do appreciate our Patreon sponsors because they, of course, are the ones that allow us to pay the bills here for all the things that we do offer you. such as the texting service and paying the folks that do the work on the website, all that other kind of stuff. But we do appreciate that. If you appreciate what we do, we'd appreciate your support as a Patreon member. But let's jump into these charts today. As we always do, we start off with the S&P 500. What do we see happening today on the S&P 500? Well, up for the day, swinging down and bouncing off that 200 EMA, moving up 1.86%. Red on the STC. Now, may very well, as the week starts, you may see things take off again on that. And again, it is above the 200 EMA. And if we do see a crossover, then of course we'll be looking to go long. We're already green on the STC, although you can see where it appears to have bounced off. A lot of indecision these last two go rounds, so it might move above, but you don't have that 4+ extra points on your success multiplier formula from the 2-day chart. You do have the 10 points from the weekly chart, and of course it's green on the STC. And this week, I don't like seeing that down movement in the candle, that little wick on the bottom. I like them to be solid green, which typically portends stronger up movement in the future, although that last big up move did start with a little wick on the bottom. But this is coming after the initial candle, so we'll keep an eye on things, see how it goes. Now, that's where we are on the S&P 500. Check out the NASDAQ 100. It is really booming up 2.74% for the day, pushing right up, and you can see where it's hitting the 200 EMA, but we're already green. Didn't reset for us. What do we see about the 2-day? Below the 200 EMA, but it is green. And of course the weekly, we can see where that weekly again is trying to penetrate through. So again, we just don't have a reset on the half-day chart, which is of course what's giving us a bit of a hard time here. So unlike what we saw on the S&P 500, where it looks like it's trying to reset, it's moved down below this center band, and hopefully will be resetting soon and giving us a signal that we can jump in. Let's go to bonds. Bonds, again, go up, down, and down. Down pretty big for the day, though. Down in the morning, not quite as much in the afternoon, 1.62% down. Went red on the STC at the end of the day. Didn't start off that way, but that continued push down did do that. We look at where we are on the half-day chart. Of course, we can see a big drop-off from all those 6 up candles. Still green on the STC, but well below the 200 EMA, well below the 200 EMA also on that weekly chart. But again, 3 weeks of up movement. We'll see how this next week goes. We'll be paying close attention to what happens with bonds on Monday. Gold, of course, pulling back a little for the day. It's been staying for the last day and a half at about the same spot. Reached its latest high back on Thursday afternoon, so nothing booting up higher on Friday. We'll see where gold's going to go. We saw it stagnate before this last move up. Is gold sort of running out of some steam and going to roll over? Don't know. Would love to see that STC reset for us. Where's the 2-day? Well, the 2-day is just rocketing up, but we can see staving off some of that energy on this latest 2-day candle. Still green on the STC. The weekly, a higher week this week above the 200 EMA. That is where we are when it comes to gold. Now, what about Bitcoin? Up 5.57%. Not much in the morning, but a booming up, as you can see, in the afternoon on Friday. Of course, it pushed through on Tuesday. That 200 EMA still green. No reset here yet for us. On the 2-day, it's green and just a booming up. And we look at where things are on the weekly. And of course, you can see where things are moving. Hasn't hit the highs that it hit back in August, but we shall see over the course of this next week. We look at the 24-hour a day Bitcoin, waiting to see it move above the 200 EMA on this weekly chart. It will then be out of the territory of down moves. You know, it won't be in that down trend anymore. So hopefully we'll see Bitcoin just a booming. But I'm not holding my breath, just waiting, watching, trying to stay calm and let the charts show themselves to us before you jump in and get hammered again. That is where we are, folks. We appreciate you being with us always. We do love to hear from you. cw@chartingwealth.com. And again, Patreon members, thank you so much for your support. You want to help the work we do at the channel, please become a Patreon supporter. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.